Special unboxing coming to you guys, and I'm pretty excited for this one. I'm pretty stoked because for a long time now I've been following limited run games, and I haven't really owned too many of this caliber, maybe one or two unintentionally because they just happened to release a physical version for a game that was originally digital only on the eShop for Nintendo Switch. Except ever so often, especially with a very nostalgic title, a very cultish titles, one that has a cult following, they release some kind of physical format for the game that goes a little more above and beyond, sometimes teetering on the collector's edition or special classic edition, like we have here for Doom 64. Doom 64 is often kind of overlooked when it comes to like the mainline Doom games. We know Doom 1, 2, hell, I would even say people know more about Doom 3 than even Doom 64, but maybe not for the more flattering reasons. And limited run games decided to take it upon themselves to call back to that era of the Nintendo 64, and that's the main reason, completely transparent, main reason for why I opted to not just get one, but two editions of the limited run classic edition of Doom 64 here for both the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch. Now in this unboxing video, we're actually going to take a look specifically at the PS4 version because it houses something that I really want to show off on camera, and for the most part they're both exactly the same except one noticeable difference on that particular item. You'll notice that there's actually a little bit of a notable difference between the two as far as packaging. They're both bolstering the homages to that N64 era with the packaging. You have the red bar here on the sides, the limited run stickers replacing pretty much the N64 sticker that you remember from those days, but what's cool is that they still have a callback to the N64 with the little flap design here saying only for limited run, and you can kind of already pick up the little Easter eggs there for the Nintendo 64 packaging. And overall, they just look amazing. They even have the color-coded spines and top and bottom pieces of the box, calling back to the N64 boxes of old, and even the back also kind of has similarities to that old school kind of look with the red strip here on the side, limited run logo once more, and then of course everything that's inside of each edition. Now, the only other thing that is going to come with the territory here is that you'll notice that the PS4 version is of course a little higher or a little wider than what original N64 boxes used to be. In fact, between the two, I would say that appropriately the Nintendo Switch version is actually the version that's a bit more accurate and to scale to an N64 box. And for reference, I actually have my old, and I mean very old as in being held together by duct tape old, box for Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on the N64, and you'll notice they're pretty much to scale. In fact, if I put them right behind the other, they're completely flush. They're exactly the same. So it's appropriate because it is the Nintendo version of the game, and that happens to be the one that's more accurate to scale within the box. Besides the changes to scale, you'll also notice a couple little things here and there that were swapped out. I honestly don't know why, but that is what they did, such as the limited run logo is repeated once more here on the Switch version, whereas the PlayStation version maybe has something to do with the fact that it's on a console system or a Nintendo licensing thing, but the Bethesda logo is actually brandished right here on the PS4 version, along with the limited run logo repeated once more, only this time it's reminiscent of that official Nintendo quality of life, or Nintendo quality assurance label that they would put right there, whereas it's completely absent here on the Switch version. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start getting to unboxing. Like I mentioned before, the Switch version I'm going to keep in the cellophane as a collectible, see how much it could go for in a few years. Trying to be careful with this thing. Ooh, okay. So upon removing the cellophane, it actually tears away the sticker that shows off what's included inside, which we'll take a look in a little bit, but at that point I can definitely appreciate more the lithographic design of the packaging there. Limited run games, they don't limit themselves as far as where they go with collector's editions on these particular games. It's also embossed right there with the Doom 64 logo. See a little bit more of that on the sides and at the bottom. But then when you go to the back, it actually looks even more in line with a Nintendo 64 style packaging and you know, kind of wearing the nostalgia on its sleeve with the different screenshots, descriptions of the game, etc., etc. So much different than what I was originally perceiving with that insert kind of stickered on there. So removing that actually made the packaging look a lot better. But of course, it's not just what's on the outside, but also what's on the inside that counts. So let's go ahead and open things up. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, thank God they don't. Okay, so you can kind of just peel from the corner because they don't have those like cutouts right here that just kind of jam. I hate that. I'm sorry, but any kind of box, I hate that. Whether it be an action figure collector's edition of something, a video game, I hate it when they have the little cutouts right here because they then grip. It's almost like an arrow. They grip onto the box, so when you try to pull it out, it starts warping the box. There's none of that found here, so that's awesome. Thank you, Limited Run Games. Thank you for being respective of what you created. Okay, so first and foremost, oh my God, this looks so much better in person. Okay, so the first thing you're greeted with is this. Oh, here we go. Is this piece right here that houses, in my opinion, my most favorite thing about this edition, which is a gold-plated, non-functioning though, N64 cartridge of Doom 64, and they make it very, very clear that it's not going to be functioning because it's actually hollowed out. There's actually nothing inside. Really, Google? But on the front, you can see the logo for... Actually, it's not even... Yeah, it is. Okay, never mind. I was going to say, I thought it was just a standard Doom logo, but no, it does say Doom 64 on it, etched in gold plated metal. And man, this thing looks gorgeous. I really wish I had some kind of display stand for it because I would proudly display it here in my room, in my background, next to either my PlayStation 4 games or my Switch games. But there it is right there. It is to scale to a N64 cartridge. On the back it does say Bethesda Softworks, giving them the rights. Now, one thing that does pique my curiosity is that even though it's hollowed out to signify that it's non-functioning, I wonder if someone out there can make this functionable. You know what I mean? It's hollowed out already. Why is it not possible or probable to put in the chipset and the readers necessary to make this an actual cartridge? Now granted, I don't know how many of us would want to put a metal cartridge into an N64, potentially damaging what's already a almost 30-year-old system, so it kind of falls upon people's preferences. But this is arguably my favorite part of the whole set here, and I'm glad to see that that's the first thing that we get kind of out of it. Right underneath it, pulled out accidentally, is actually a commemorative instruction book, very reminiscent of the N64 days. As many of us remember, and instruction booklets would be included practically with every single N64 game, regardless of what it was. And sure enough, this is not just wow, this is not only an instructional booklet, but this is also kind of like a little bit of a memoir. Not only kind of chronicling the development of the game, but also the style of shooters that it's kind of harkening back to, being told from the makers of the game itself. So pretty dope, pretty dope. In fact, it says right there, it's not just an instructional booklet, it says right there, behind the scenes booklet, kind of breaking down the making of the game. Let's see what else we have in here. Of course, we're going to have the actual game itself on PlayStation 4 for this particular edition. Set that right here, and then inside we got just a couple more goodies, and that's actually about it. Yeah, so there's the box itself. Kind of put that here to the side. Actually, let's prop it up right there. And then lastly, we have what I believe is a double-sided poster. I'm probably gonna have to rely on some B-roll here to kind of show things off. And the paper itself, I mean, it is a paper poster, but at least they went a little extra on the paper to be a little thicker and not at all flimsy like the ones you probably get like at GameStop or whatever. But it's pretty much a double-sided poster showing off two of the particular enemies from the game itself, rendered in their very pixelated N64 renders. I kind of, would have liked a much more hand-drawn style of poster to, make it seem even more metal and more awesome, but besides that, pretty nifty, especially showing off the Cyber Demon on one side. I would probably show that side off more, putting inside of a framing or something like that. So overall, not bad, but of course to me, the piece de resistance is in fact that gold-plated cartridge. Now, as I mentioned before, the Nintendo Switch version we're going to keep in package, and ideally there's a good reason why, and that's because everything that you see before you is exactly the same thing that you get in the Switch version, except for one notable difference that made me want to open the PS4 version as opposed to the Switch version, and that is that the cartridge here is actually bronze colored in the Switch version. I don't know if it has anything to do with the console because it's, you know, predominantly red, or the logo's known for being red, Nintendo's known for being red, I don't know, but they decided to go for a bronze color on that cartridge as opposed to the gold that you see before you here. So if I had to, you know, open one up so I can really take a look at that cartridge and kind of marvel at it, it would definitely be this one as opposed to the Switch version. And that's why I'm gonna go ahead and keep that one in box, though I respect the packaging on that one a little better because of how much more accurate and to scale it is with OG N64 boxes. But other than that, I'm very, very happy and satisfied with this edition. I look forward to playing Doom 64 for the first time because I've never done so before, so this is a nice way to kind of commemorate that, and playing it on PS4 or Switch or even on Xbox with Game Pass. Hoping for a good time, but at least I know that I at least own in my possession a collector's edition that I'm very proud of. So let me know what you guys think of the Doom 64 limited run classic edition that you see before you here. Drop a like if you liked the video, drop a dislike if you didn't, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care and stay humble.